the task of trying to connect citizens has got to be made more difficult by the reality among young people of a kind of growing disengagement from the process, both formally in terms of voting and informally in terms of kind of paying attention. How do you perceive handling that challenge?
I guess I'm not convinced it's as big a challenge as we make it out to be. I mean, I know voting statistics, so I agree with you there. And I guess to sort of prove it, I'll talk a bit about it, a wonderful, surprising experience I had, which was running an organization called Canada 25. They got young people, young Canadians living around the world working collaboratively on public policy projects. So this was an initiative that we ran for a bunch of years in the earlier part of this decade. And there I was actually stunned to see the latent interest that existed among people under the age of 30 in actually actively contributing to discussion and writing and thinking about some of the public issues that we're facing this country. So for me, it isn't, I don't think young people are disengaged at all. I just think it's a matter of how do we both activate and channel that engagement in a constructive fashion. So I'm not as worried about it as a problem. To me, it's almost more of a process question on how do we actually activate what I think is a strong latent interest.
Well, that's an interesting point. Did you get a sense at all from those people how theirs was activated?
Yeah, I can only speak for obviously those folks, but I was very struck by how few of them looked to the political process as a way of getting involved. So again, having not sort of been around 40 or 50 years ago, I can't say if there was a glory day where all people who are interested in their communities went to join political parties. I doubt it,
right.
But they may have. But there was certainly a very strong desire to these folks to engage really actively in the conversations that were facing their country and the issues of their time, but not interested in doing it through the political process. Variably interested in working in the government. And so we're left with, if they really cared about an issue, there were certainly a lot of NGOs that could engage that interest. But really, outside of that, lacking a sense of where to go and what to do. So we sort of stumbled across this and were stunned with, literally hundreds and hundreds of emails. And we were just people doing this in a voluntary capacity coming from Canadians all over the world who wanted to get involved. And that was just a very small example. So I suspect, again, with some different ways of approaching it, we might think differently about people's interest in public life.
Do you think that was a reflection of the combative, aggressive nature of politics today, or is it more that there was a real view that the quickest and best way to make a difference in the world is not working my way up through this system and with these dummies or whatever, but look, I can go out and actually make a difference on my own with these people right now?
It's probably a bit of both. I think there are still a lot of people who decide to activate their interest through politics. I mean, I'm always struck walking around the Hill, not that I'm there that often, but when I am, I mean, it seems to be, I'm sort of struggling to find a staffer over the age of 30
They're
sometimes.
the only ones who will work for no
free,
money.
I know. So, so I'm always sort of reluctant to say, nobody's doing this and everybody's doing this. So I don't know, in general, again, to me, I try to think, well, if I want to engage in a conversation about the issues that are important to me in a way that's accessible, where do I go? Where's that neutral platform? I mean, if I want to beat a drum, I know where to go, right? If I want to, if I love a particular political leader, I know where to go. But if I'm actually just really trying to sort out the complexity of what's going on, in the world around me, and actually try to figure out, is there a small way that I can contribute? That's a tougher place to know where to direct yourself.
Does your optimism kind of put you at odds with other people, in the academic community? I mean, I'm being serious, because a lot of people have very dire predictions about, they look at young people today and they go, nobody's paying attention. These people aren't engaged. We're all doomed.
I'm sort of worrying I'm self-selecting my friends a little bit too much. I'm nervous about acting
that might be it as well.
I think frankly, in the academy, you find, to overly simplify, you find two groups of people. I think you find people who are, frankly, hardened and cynical, and I don't always know why that is. And then you find people who get a tremendous amount of energy by being surrounded by students and young people and ideas. And maybe I gravitate to that latter category maybe more than's healthy, but I find, I do find, I think, that people, frankly, are overwhelmed. They're recognizing, institutions that these, 20th century institutions that we've relied on for so long, or that have been all that we've known, or these industries kind of aren't working anymore. And I'm not really sure what is next. And I mean, I'm personally not sure, but I think people are inquiring. So I feel, and maybe, you know, this is a little of Obama in all of us, but I feel that there's a lot of desire to inquire about that other side, or at least, you know, pay a little bit of attention. So I don't know. Am I at odds with some people? Probably, but they're not people I spend time with. It's easy enough to get dragged down around here.